At about this point now, May/June 2020, this is when I've started reading books. And so I use it as a computer monitor stand, but I've got a book that I read here. So I started YouTube, and I probably read this one a couple of months later, but it's just the one that I've got here right now. It's just Influencer by Joseph Grenny Kerry Patterson. So when I started YouTube, I got into reading. I wanted to start reading because I was giving people advice, and I thought, okay, imagine if I actually learn how to like make people take my advice. Like that would be some next level shit. If I could be the guy who I tell you, okay, meditate and exercise, but I say it in a certain way that actually gets you to meditate and exercise. That's a $1 million business right there. If I can be the one to influence you to get onto the good habits. So I looked specifically for books on influence, and there was a couple of big ones. There's a book, I believe it's on influence. Yeah, it's Influence by Robert Cardino, something like that. It's a really big famous book. I didn't really like that one. This is like a very quite underground book. It's made for like teachers or anything, but like it's a very, very easy read with like nice stories. And the principles are that to influence people, there's like a bunch of different categories that you can focus on, but the main thing that you can do, at least as a content creator, in my opinion, in like my example, is on personal motivation. If I can motivate you to go and do an action, then you'll do it. There's other things, like they went into detail. So for example, there's like structural influence, there's societal influence. Obviously they're like, you know, things that we're probably not considering right now. The page is falling out and everything, but you can kind of tell that I've been taking the advice from this. So to motivate someone, one of the best tactics is to tell meaningful stories. That's why, like, this literally reading this book completely changed the formula of my videos, because before I would start the video like reading from a fucking script and be like, the best way to cure back pain is, you know, I'd be just saying some bullshit. When I read this book, I realized, yeah, like every single time that I've been like moved by a video, it's because they had like a storyline. Like we are so motivated by stories. I tell a story in every single one of my videos now. I don't just tell you like, oh yeah, you should meditate. I say, oh yeah, before I started meditating, this is what life was like. But then I found meditation, but then it didn't work. But then I really tried to make it work, and it worked. And this is what life is like now. You tell a story, you change someone's life. I really like this book. It's not one that I'd reread because it's quite basic and it's just kind of like, yeah, just, you know, motivate them and you give them experiences, tell them stories. But it's quite like a nice introduction into influence and a behavior change into someone. If you're doing work similar to me, so if you're a YouTuber, a content creator, if you're a teacher, if you're in anything where you have to influence people, and of course like influence, do use it literally 24/7 anyway, but I'd say if you're gonna influence like people to be better, if you're gonna influence like an audience, I'd highly recommend this book. It's Influencer by Joseph Grenny, Kerry Patterson, and like a couple of other people.